Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of the Four Corners Podcast. My name is John, and I am the host that goes coast to coast.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I told y'all it was going to be different this time, and I'm joined by my beautiful co-host, Ethan.
Hi, John. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty decent. Can't complain.
Good.
Damien.
John, I like your shirt this evening.
Hey, thank you. Hey, I like your shirt.
What about mine?
I like Ethan's shirt.
I don't like your shirt.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick, where's your shirt?
Where's your shirt?
I forgot. Wow.
You hate us. It's literally like a 2-minute walk back to your room.
That's 2 minutes I don't have.
So this week, as promised last week, we are joined by another beautiful co-host of ours, Mr. Dalton Williams himself, Justin Myers on the indie scene. Dalton, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, John. How you doing tonight, sir?
I am absolutely wonderful.
Going back to what you said earlier, Mr. John, who goes coast to coast. There's a certain space ghost that I know that's probably going to see you over that. So we're just going to like.
What about Shane McMahon?
Oh man.
That's what I was going for. I was going for Shane McMahon.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yes, sir. Beautiful times. So, Dalton.
Yes, sir.
Let our loyal viewership get to know you better. So, as with all guests, we're going to ask you just a few questions. First of all, give us your background into wrestling.
So my background in wrestling was I started when I was 14 years old back in October of 2009 in my hometown of Crawfordsville, Indiana. I was trained by two local guys by the name of Kenneth James and Brett Havoc. My training was very unique. I grew up in a day and age where wrestling schools were very prominent. Mine was unique because I never went to a true wrestling school. I literally did it like an old school 1960s, 1970s style. I just hopped in the car and I did it as I went. So did that. This past October was my 7th year in professional wrestling. I'm now 22. And since then, I've wrestled in various states such as Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, Illinois. I've got to meet many great people along the way. This past year, I actually blew out my ACL, had surgery last March, just started getting back into it. And getting back into it, I've been training with a really good friend of mine, a guy by the name of Steve Wilson, who most of you may know as Congo Kong on Impact Wrestling.
Congo Kong. Yeah.
Name drop.
Name drop. Yes,
go ahead and
sir.
pick that
Yes,
back up.
sir. So, to kind of get your idea of like what kind of wrestling you like to watch, give us your current 3 favorite wrestlers and then your top 3 favorite of all time.
If I have to pick a current 3 right now on the current wrestling scene, I'd probably have to throw Kevin Owens in there. I believe he is right now probably one of the best pure heels that there are. He's very straight-laced, very straight-cut heel. Almost has like a nice 1970s, 1980s like Jerry Lawler heelish to him. On top of that, I'd probably have to go with. I'm a big Randy Orton guy. You can probably call him, old school, but I do like Randy Orton. I kind of like to moderate my style from what I saw Randy Orton when I was growing up. He has the body of a very lean high flyer, kind of, but he's very much ground and pound, and I do enjoy that. And then lastly, I'd probably right now, currently, probably have to go Braun Strowman just because I know he's going to be the next big man, succeeding Big Show, because going into what you're going to ask me in a second, I'll explain why I choose Braun as one of my other top 3 currently.
What are we asking him in a second?
Didn't you tell me earlier you're going to ask me about 3 old school wrestlers?
Oh, I already asked you.
Yeah, but I'd wait for you to ask again, but it's fine. It's cool.
Well, I'll ask you again. Dalton! Give me your 3 favorite of all time.
So 3 all time, we're going to go backwards from 3 to 1. Number 3 is going to be kind of weird for me because I'm a scrawny dude and I like to do the high-flying flippy stuff. But number 3 for me is going to be Andre the Giant. Big influence in what I like to do or like to be as a wrestler, because there's all these stories about Andre, being this absolute larger life person. This man could drink 3 kegs of beer and still walk a straight line. Like, this guy is a larger than life person. But what makes him one of my favorites is that he was, in my opinion, a gentle giant. He was definitely a big attraction for Vince in the WWF. He was also a big attraction in Hollywood, doing one of my favorite movies, The Princess Bride. And that's someone I really want to model myself after because he was such a nice, gentle soul to everyone. That
my grandpa met him.
Across. Yeah, and I've always heard stories that Andre, obviously every wrestler has, their own, niches about them. People are like, that guy's kind of a douche or whatever. But be that as it may, Andre always came off as a nice, gentle soul. And so I got to throw Andre the Giant in there. Going off him, number 2, I'm probably going to have to say Shawn Michaels. off of that. Been a big fan of his. I really enjoy his earlier stuff when he was in the AWA, and then when he was doing his stuff with the Rockers with Mario Giannetti. And then what made me a bigger fan of his was when he did his multiple Undertaker matches, WrestleMania 25, WrestleMania 26, and that made me a bigger fan of Shawn Michaels. And then after those matches happened, I actually went back through and watched more and more, and just kind of going off this, with Andre, Shawn had the reputation of being a complete, tool bag to everybody. But that was just how Shawn was. He was obviously battling issues and stuff, and he's had this big ego. And I find that very unique, not in the sense of like people should hate him for that. It's just more of like it's amazing what kind of egos people can get in this business. And then what he went through after he broke his back against Taker at WrestleMania, and then coming back, after 4 years of being gone, and being able to overcome, his demons and basically becoming, this much nicer of a person. That's what made me really enjoy him overall. And then my number one favorite is going to be the guy that started my whole passion for the wrestling business, is a man by Eddie Guerrero. Yes, sir. Eddie has played a big pivotal role in my wrestling career, my wrestling fandom. Anything and everything wrestling is because of Mr. Eddie Guerrero. The night that he actually won the WWE Championship from Brock Lesnar in No Way Out 2004 was a huge thing to me. I sat in my living room and I actually, cried because I was so happy. And what made me love Eddie so much was that he was just you could tell no matter if he was playing heel, if he was playing babyface, he was a pure soul in the wrestling business. He absolutely loved the business. He laughed, he cried, he would have died for the business, and that was one thing I really admired from him. And I've loved all of his stuff from ECW, his tag team matches with Art Barr, his matches in WCW, all the way up to his matches with everyone in WWE, with Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, everyone. And the day that he passed away was an extremely sad day for most wrestling fans. For me, I did sit there, I cried like every wrestling fan, like every wrestler who stood on that stage that night when, they announced that Eddie had passed away. So he is definitely my all-time number one, and I will fight tooth and nail into anyone that can argue with me why Eddie Guerrero is not considered one of the best pure wrestlers in history.
Oh, no question.
Okay, so I know I was there. Were you there in his last match? Because it was in Indy.
I was not there for his last match. I actually did not watch his last match, which I'm kind of glad I didn't watch it, because I would have been really sad knowing that his last match was with Ken Kennedy. Not Ken Kennedy, but it's like, really?
But he did get a W.
He got the W. He got the W. He got that old light, cheat, and steal, and I get that. But it's like, in all fairness, like if God wanted to be like the nicest person on earth, let his last match be with like David Batista or someone. But no,
You guys remember when Ken Kennedy was supposed to be the next face of the company? He was booked that way.
Yeah, he was.
Anyways, Dalton.
Yes.
It's good to have you here, buddy.
Oh, thank you, sir.
We're going to talk wrestling. It's going to be a nice perspective from an actual wrestler.
I'm just going to crap on everything. I'm going to tell you that right now, but we'll get into that later.
Go for it. Hey, that's what we're here for. So let's start off with Raw this week. We started off with the Chris Jericho highlight reel, which meshed
His
into
TV, actually.
meshed into Ambrose Asylum, actually. So Chris Jericho comes out. He was just kind of oddly placed there. Like, he was just thrown in there, which was, okay. It was fine. And then Miz came out, interrupted him, and made it Miz TV. And then Dean Ambrose came out and made it the Ambrose Asylum after giving Jericho the jacket that he owes him. It was funny. It was a good one. And then Miz delivered an awesome promo like he always does.
And then he got his
butt
beat like he always does.
Yeah, it was weird because like that. Ethan and I made the comment together that like it took so long for him just to get beat up. Like,
yep.
It was a long segment.
It was 21 minutes long.
That was a 21-minute long segment?
It was terrible.
Good God.
You got to
really
fill
long.
Just for him to get a dirty deeds. Yeah, all for that.
You got to fill time. That's what Raw's all about now.
3 hours. You have 3 hours. You should use it wisely.
I personally am going to say, because I actually just watched all of this today, I think it was probably one of the better segments that happened on Raw.
Oh, yeah. It was good.
Yeah, it was very good. The only reason why I say that is for many reasons. One, wrestling has had all these different talk shows. They've had, Piper's Pit. They've had Carlito's Cabana. Like, they've had all this stuff.
The Peep Show.
The Peep Show, obviously. Can't forget the Peep Show. The Cutting Edge. Can't forget the Cutting Edge. But with Jericho's highlight reel, that was the one like after Piper's Pit that actually made a statement like in WWE itself, and it was the one that lasted the longest. And now, unfortunately, we're getting into this day and age where all of these older veterans from the Attitude Era are getting ready to leave us. It's sad, but it's true. Jericho's getting ready to leave because he's going to go on tour with Fozzy. What I found really cool about it was the fact that the person that could fulfill that spot with like the utmost, like 100% attitude would be The Miz. You know, The Miz taking over the whole talk show segment would be the best thing for the company if they want to have a new talk show host overall. So him coming out, I saw it as like, you know, here's the highlight reel, but eventually the highlight reel is going to be passed over and it's going to be taken over by Miz TV, and that's going to be the new like talk show for like X amount of years.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Of course you do, Nick.
And then you have the Ambrose Asylum, which is like,
A joke.
I honestly thought it was,
gonna say,
the funniest thing ever.
That's a joke, isn't it? Like that's mainly
It's
a
funny,
joke.
but it's just kind of like ironic. Cause it's
Yeah.
like,
He's
oh
a
look,
lunatic.
I have a sign with Sharpie on it, haha, and no chairs. Yeah.
I mean, I love the
Barstool.
fact more that he came out with the shag rug. Like that's what
Yeah.
got me.
Watch
I was
the
like,
shag.
watch the shag. Yeah,
Watch
watch
the
the
shag.
shag.
It's
now,
because
come
he's
on.
crazy.
And then they started talking about the plan. He started crossing his heart. And I'm like, all right, like,
Yeah.
come on now.
It was funny though.
Potted plant.
It was funny. It was a good time. And then that, obviously, of course, because in keeping with Raw fashion, it led to a tag team match later in the night, which we will get to. Nick. Speaking of tag teams, the next match that we had was Matt Hardy against Sheamus with their respective tag partners at their side, with Matt Hardy defeating Sheamus, which was a surprise.
It was weird because like
Really big shocker.
Jeff Hardy got involved.
Yeah.
They distracted.
There was
so
a weird
Sheamus-
thing where I thought that they were going to turn heel, or that was at least a start of it, because like they got into their faces and like I don't know, it was weird.
I think the purpose was to show that Cesaro can be a hothead too, just like Sheamus is sometimes. 'Cause I think Graves or Cole pointed out, oh wow, Sheamus has to cool down Cesaro this time. Wow, this is different. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was just a new take on their tag team.
Just a way of
And I'm
showing
wondering if
they
this
both will do
leads
anything for
to
each
a
other.
breakup between Cesaro.
No,
They're
I
too
don't
good
see
right
it.
now.
Because
I don't think so.
I don't see WWE taking the belts off of the Hardy Boys this quickly. Personally, myself.
Going off what you said, John, I don't
Yes,
see
sir.
them taking off the tag belts from the Hardy Boys anytime soon, because obviously they're one of the hottest tag teams right now in wrestling
Money,
today.
money.
Exactly. You know, and obviously with everything going on right now with like who owns the broken gimmick or whatever, eventually, like, I personally feel like the broken gimmick settlement is going to go to Matt, and Matt's going to own the copyright
And
to
did
the
you
whole broken
see?
gimmick.
Did you see? Like he's still doing a halfway Matt Hardy, broken Matt Hardy.
Exactly.
thing.
The one thing that bugs me about matches like this, though, because obviously, you know, this Sunday at Payback, it's going to be the Hardys and Sheamus or whatever, or Sheamus and Cesaro. My thing is, don't do matches, especially if it's a tag team or singles match, don't give us that match or any part of that match the week before or like that same week. Don't
Right.
do that. Now, like, obviously, what Ethan said, it does show like how hot-headed or Cesaro is, and it shows that, you know, he's just as hot-headed as Sheamus, and they're basically one and done. But don't give us literally half of that match that's going to happen later this week, because not only does it ruin, you know, the mystery of how is this going to play out, but you're literally you're almost like destroying the story as a whole. So,
And that's
the
one
thing.
reason we were all shocked, is because Jeff Hardy beat Cesaro last week. And so we were like, well, 50-50 booking, like, you know, to keep it even, fair, like Sheamus wins this week, but Matt Hardy won. So
And see, that would have made sense because you're trying to display these tag teams as being on level ground, because typically, you
Right.
know, if it's a challenger versus a champion, you want them to be on playing level field. So it's either Cesaro wins, Hardy loses, or Sheamus wins, the other Hardy loses. So you have to have that 50-50 playing ground. On top of that, though, depending on how you're booking it would make sense. So, like, Sheamus and Cesaro won a match to get the number one contendership, correct?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so they did do that. So it would prove, if you would have had them at least have the 50-50 booking, it shows that they earned that spot, or at least one of them deserved that spot. But you can't really have an argument of going, well, we just lost to both Matt and Jeff Hardy, so you can't expect them. Now, I get they're trying to convey, like, maybe they're going into Payback and, like, have a legitimate chance of Mike
Right.
winning. But let us wait until that happens. It's basically telling us, you know, because for most smart wrestling fans, we know the Hardys aren't going to lose the tag belts literally a month after they win them.
Right.
So why have them not only face this tag team at Payback, but beat them both in singles matches? It just kills, like, the momentum going into the match.
I feel that. So the next segment, we had multiple Miz promos throughout the night. The first one being with Kurt Angle. Good stuff. Not much to say. They were building on who's going to be the special tag team partner. We'll get to that. It was kind of weird. So then we had the cruiserweight action. We had Aries and Gallagher defeating Neville and Perkins ahead of Payback, where good old Neville's going to take on Aries. So
Yeah, it was a good match.
it was a good match. They'll all put on a good match. I mean, they're all terrific.
TJP is still the gamer.
Yeah, he needs to change up something.
How do you feel about the cruiserweight division, Dalton?
Oh, let me get my spreadsheet.
Oh, good gravy. ASMR.
The entire cruiserweight division should have went to SmackDown during the shakeup. That is my 100% belief. Here's why I say this. For not only money-wise, but logistics-wise, okay? So ever since the cruiserweights came to Raw overall, nothing's really happened. I mean, if you really look at the overall stance of the current WWE cruiserweights division, what is the biggest thing that has happened since they came to Raw?
Neville.
Neville.
Yeah, but when did that happen?
A long.
Long time after they got there. So before that, what was the biggest thing that happened to the cruiserweights? The Cruiserweight Classic. That happened in Orlando at the NXT Arena on the network, which half of the people who watch WWE, which granted they have big subscribing numbers, does not have the WWE network. So half of these people do not know who the cruiserweights are. And not only on top of that, but they promised all of these cruiserweights were going to be at Raw or on 205 Live eventually when they created it, but half of them are not there. When's the last time you saw Grand Metalik? Haven't seen him at all.
I don't even know
I
who
don't
that
think he ever
is.
debuted, did
Exactly.
No, I don't think he has.
They kept hyping him, and he never
Yeah,
came out. He never
weren't we
showed up.
promised that Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were going to be a part of the Cruiserweight division?
Yeah.
They're still in NXT.
Yeah.
So, like, half of these people who were in the Cruiserweight Classic have not been a part of the Cruiserweight division as a whole. Like, even the Bollywood boys who are now with Jinder Mahal on SmackDown, they have been on a couple things of 205 Live, but that is it. Like, you have
the very
not
first
seen them
episode,
at all.
And that was it, yeah.
So basically what I'm doing, send them all to SmackDown, because not only has SmackDown for an overall history has had better luck with the cruiserweights since they, had the cruiserweight division back during the Ruthless Aggression era from the mid 2000s, but also 205 Live takes place literally right after SmackDown. So why not just keep them all on the same show instead of having to send them like, okay, you're here this night, now you're going here like the next day. Keep them all in the same building, save you a ton of money. But no, I feel like the cruiserweight division, they have the good stars, but they're not giving them the proper shine that they need. Like even the Neville Austin Aries match. 2 fantastic cruiserweights. That match was phenomenal. Why the hell was it on the pre-show? Exactly.
I mean, that was one of the issues of, like, what match do you put on the main card? Because there were so many matches that it was like, what do you do?
Going off that, what you said, because we're kind of sliding off topic just a little bit. That should have been on the main card. Make it first. Make it first on the main card just to show. Because my opinion is the cruiserweights, unless it's a big enough story, should probably be the first half. Only because they are the very big hype match. They're the ones that get the fans riled. They basically set the bar for the show. But with Neville and Austin Aries, they only had a month or two to build up their feud. They're going into WrestleMania, which was even then still a good feud. Give them 6 months. Give them a 6-month-long feud, and that could be a semi-main, if not main event match.
So are you saying they should get rid of 205 Live?
I am saying
kind of do what they did originally with.
I am saying get 100% get rid of 205 Live. 100%.
Whoa.
Well, just because they have all.
I was
these,
thinking the opposite. Get rid of all the on Raw and SmackDown. Maybe have backstage segments, but then put everything else on 205.
And I can understand that. The only thing is, though, it's going back to what I said
You want
earlier.
more filler on Raw?
Make it a
I
4-hour
don't
show.
know, we get the same guys that we see on Raw on 205 Live, so it's
What's the point?
what's the point?
Just get rid of
It's basically
205
like a
Live
205 preview.
or add 205 Live on SmackDown. Make it 4 hours because who the hell watches Chris Lee Knows Best anyway?
Whoa.
I hate Chris Lee.
Class,
Everybody
not-
here loves Chris
That was
Lee.
too far.
No, I honestly feel like if you take away 205 Live, because since it's only on the network, and plus, not even then, but because I even watched this when I went to SmackDown over, March when we had our spring break here at Ball State.
Yeah.
Half of the people, and it's 100% true, half of the people leave right after SmackDown and don't stay for 205 Live. Now, granted, 205 Live is only an hour, but get rid of it entirely and just let the cruiserweights, put them with the normal guys. When the cruiserweight division was around during the Ruthless Aggression era, you still had Rey Mysterio wrestling the Big Show. You still had Billy Kidman, Chavo Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero wrestling all of these, bigger names. So what's the point of all grouping them together? Granted, it's probably for more like legitimacy or something like that. But that's not what it's about. They're supposed to be able to showcase themselves as pure athletes. So you have to keep them wrestling the same people over and over and over again. It just makes it boring. Get rid of 205 Live.
That's
throw all of them to SmackDown. Raw's 3 hours anyway, so they're not going to get their shit in. There's that.
I feel that. Lots of woos this episode.
Woo!
So, oh goodness, we went on a tangent. Let's go on to the next segment. We had I missed a promo for this, but I doubt it was much. Wasn't it just Angle? The next segment was Angle telling Kalisto,
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
boosting him up.
backstage.
like, hey, don't do this.
Like right before the entrance, he's like,
Are you
"Hey,
sure-
man, you
sure
don't
you
wanna
wanna
do
do
this?"
this?
And Kalisto's like, "I'm doing it for my pride."
So then we had the first ever dumpster match.
On
That
Raw.
was on
First
Raw.
ever on Raw.
First ever on Raw, it was like the third.
Yeah, second or third.
Yeah, that was
Try
the
and
third
explain.
match.
Try and explain that to someone who doesn't watch wrestling. Oh yeah, there's a dumpster match. Yeah.
How can you forget Chainsaw Charlie and Mick Foley and their little dumpster match against the New Age Outlaws? That match was
WrestleMania
dope.
14.
Yeah, that match was dope because Chainsaw Charlie, who was Terry Funk, almost legitimately died. So like,
Remember Chainsaw Charlie's debut? It was
I was there that night.
We had. Okay. We had Kalisto surprisingly beating Braun. I mean, throughout the match, I was like, I wonder,
Beating. I mean,
winning, getting the dub.
technically he won the match.
Technically he won, but he
But
didn't
not after.
win in life.
The
So-
new way that
I
they
was gonna
do
say,
it, because
so-
they used to, like, you had to put them in and then close the lid of the dumpster.
Kind of like
But
the casket matches.
Yeah, but now they just have to, like, get thrown in or
He just
kicked
kind
in.
of fell into it.
Yeah.
But Kalisto has a new look.
I love
it
it.
look- it
The
looks-
music
looks
and
really
the look
good.
and everything.
He
was
looks good.
Awesome.
Kind of feel bad though because obviously I'm a big viewer of like all wrestling from. He almost now I don't know how much of you watched TNA like back during like the mid 2000s.
Oh yeah,
He almost looked like Relic.
he does.
Yeah.
And almost like oh no,
You know Relic is backwards.
Reddit's gonna like
Killer.
blow up on him.
I hate you. So, of course, Kalisto finds a way to win, kind of kicks out his knees, and it was funny.
He just,
that
like,
was
jumps,
funny.
and he
Yeah,
jumped
just
into
jumped
the-
in the dumpster. That
He
was
got all
funny.
mad about it.
And then, yeah, that was a time where Kalisto better start running because Braun ragdolled him. He was the reverse choke slams that he was doing, like
Just picking it up from the ground. Boy.
throws him in the dumpster, throws the dumpster off the stage. Beautiful.
So going back, what to said about Braun being one of my favorite people right now, like that match is a prime example just because he can work so well with the smaller guys. Like one of the opening spots when Kalisto went for like the dive off the top and he just caught him in a suplex. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
hot.
that was dope.
Like that was hot. And then the finish was probably one of the best finishes to a gimmick match I've seen in a long time. Last time I saw a match like that, and it was an accidental finish too, was in TNA. It was Samoa Joe, and I can't remember who he was facing, but it was in the First Blood match. And Joe punched his hand through a table and cut his arm. And technically, since he was bleeding, he lost the match. And it was really like a
I
nick.
feel like I remember
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so when you have literally Braun Strowman on the apron grabbing Kalisto, and Kalisto just kicks his feet out from underneath him, and he falls in. Gorgeous.
It was a good match all the way
It
through.
was
I thought.
fantastic.
That was actually the same finish. It was Cody Rhodes' Big Show in a tables match.
Oh, yes, it did,
2012.
'cause he stepped
I think it was
through.
Extreme Rules, and he like pushed Big Show off the apron. And, like, he stepped through the
Through it.
table. And he like his eyes went all bug eyes. Like, oh, son of a gun.
Yeah, and
He
even
knew
then,
he
like,
lost.
like Kalisto gets the W over Braun Strowman, who they're pushing to be this big monster right
Yeah.
now, but he didn't look weak.
Yeah, oh yeah, he went down
got
fighting.
kicked out from underneath him, which
Yeah.
legitimately, if a bigger man gets kicked out his legs from underneath him, he's gonna fall. It's the fact that he stood there, looked down, and had the eyes of
yeah.
"I'm gonna kill you."
And at that point, because like we were talking about Braun losing to Roman and like how they built him up that entire time, lost to Roman and lost everything because then he got taken out of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which I thought he should have won, but oh well.
I think it should have went to Jinder Mahal, but it's
Oh
me.
my god.
That's just me.
We'll get to gender. We'll get to gender. We all cry. Anyways, yeah, and then they built Braun back up properly, and now he's even scarier than he was before.
So we can lose Sunday.
And
I
he
think
is
he's gonna win. We'll get into that.
We'll get to
later.
that. We'll get to that. But going off what you said, though, just goes to show you that you can be brought. He is a prime example of someone who gets stuck in a gimmick faction and can literally make a career for himself. It has happened to there's always that one person who was in a faction for a long time and can make a career for himself. It happened in Evolution with Randy Orton first and then Dave Bautista. It happened now with Braun Strowman out of the Wyatt family, which sucks too because I like everyone who's in the Wyatt family. But it's just good to see that someone actually made a breakthrough career for himself getting out of a stable faction like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So,
Oh yes, sir.
what? Next segment, literally a replay of what we've been seeing the last million years. Bray Wyatt did his promo.
But it was spooky.
It was spooky. Wow.
The House of Horrors.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
That's exactly what it was. And it was, Randy, you're going to see in my House of Horrors.
Every room you enter will be an endless nightmare.
But then they did give us a little more light on that. The commentary said that
Yes.
it'll start in the House of Horrors and eventually go into the ring. So it'll probably be like half pre-taped, half actually in the arena.
I feel like
Which is cool.
That's interesting.
I feel like what have made that promo so much better is going back to when you guys were talking about, the various Miz and Kurt Angle promos back and forth. The one where Kurt asked me, did you find a partner? And he's like, yes, I did. And Elias Sampson is just playing through the background.
God.
I wish he would have done that during Bray's promo. I would have been the best thing ever.
Oh my gosh. I think I missed that promo.
I wonder when he's gonna actually debut.
I hope he doesn't, honestly.
You really just hope he
He
keeps
can
on
do that for the rest of his
strumming.
career, I
It's
won't
not
Funny,
drifting.
what he's doing now is funny.
Yeah, I like it, but I would just wonder when he's actually gonna debut.
It's only a matter of time until you hear the guitar strum and then someone's head just gets busted with a guitar, and then you'll know there he is.
Did you guys ever watch the old Tom and Jerry cartoons? I don't know if you guys remember this. There was one where Tom's cousin came and he always played the guitar, and every time he would play the string would go off. I feel like that's gonna happen. He's gonna be playing his guitar and it's just gonna break next to someone. He's gonna bash it over someone's head. I'm just done.
That's his debut.
Well, I hope it happens soon. If
be
it happens
wild.
during the House of Horrors, I will literally lose my mind.
be
I will be
wild.
so excited.
That'd be hot. So, next segment, we had good old Dana Brooke defeating Alicia Fox.
Alicia
I
Fox.
haven't said that in a while. And I'm not upset about it.
You got a thing
Why did
about
they
Alicia
have a match
Fox?
And then after the match, Dana won, and then Emma hugged her.
Yeah.
Hugged her.
So I think they're gonna be back together.
back together, I guess. I don't know. I'm just glad that they're developing, as weird as it is, they're developing another women's on mid card.
Yeah,
so
it's nice for a change.
It's nice not to have literally everyone in the title scene every time. It's nice. Dana Brooke doesn't look too bad.
No, she's getting better.
She's getting better.
I mean, I didn't watch the segment, so
I mean,
getting
you
better.
didn't really miss much, but.
I mean, it's a Dana.
I don't
Brooke
think
match,
Emma
it's
needs
fine.
to be hanging out with
No, I think
Dana Brooke.
Emma's
though.
way better.
She needs to be feuding with Charlotte or something. Not Charlotte, but Sasha. Whatever.
Whatever. Next segment, we had when they first announced this, we all rolled our eyes. They were gonna have Seth Rollins and Enzo and Big Cass versus Samoa Joe and the Club, which would be kind of a cool faction to see. We were talking about Samoa Joe and the Club being a cool faction, and then of course, in typical heel fashion, they attacked Enzo and took him out of the match, and Finn Balor came in. And
Pretty cool.
even though they don't do that anymore, I wish they had that heartbeat. Anyways, the three good guys defeated the three bad guys. Good match.
Yeah, it was cool. It was nice to see Balor actually recognize that the Club is on the same show as he
Yeah.
and interact with them in a way.
And actually wrestling real competition instead of
Not
Jinder.
Jinder and
Wait,
Kurt
Jinder.
Hawkins.
Don't hinder Jinder. Okay.
Yeah, Jinder's the number one
We will
contender
get
for
to him
the
later.
WWE
Don't
Championship.
hinder the gender. So
Hinder.
we did find out that the Club is going to take on Enzo and Cass at
the
pre-show.
The pre-show. Very excited. For
Going off that tag match, just because obviously I had said something to all you guys before we went on air that I didn't get to see that match because I watched the version that was on Hulu and some of the matches got cut. So unfortunately, I did not see that segment, but I saw what had happened. This is probably going to be a very unpopular opinion, and I'm probably going to get shot for this, but current WWE Finn Balor, I believe, is extremely overrated right now.
Oh, you can leave.
Wow.
You can
Wow.
Hi, Kelly.
Wow.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Here's why. So everyone who has called up from NXT has done something very unique for themselves. Bayley has done it. Charlotte's done it. Sasha has done it. Something very unique, okay? They have done something different, at least, to change up just a little bit. Nothing major, just a little bit.
Just give it time.
He has had almost a year.
He's hurt for half.
Give him a break.
So when he comes back, he could have changed. Basically, the reason why I say this, too, is because I firmly believe that he is going to be the next Undertaker. When it comes to gimmick-wise, I truly do. Because just the darkness, because that was supposed to be, Bray Wyatt was supposed to be the next Undertaker.
Yeah.
That never is, it's done. That's not going to happen. So Finn is the next, person to make up that markup. But he hasn't done anything to really, stand out from the crowd. He does, besides like the music and all that stuff, like he hasn't done anything different than we did in NXT, which is kind of sad because like when he was in NXT, yeah, he was probably one of the longest reigning NXT champions, but his reign wasn't that memorable because he didn't do a whole lot.
You sound like me when I talk about bold statements. You sound like me.
We got a new John.
We have a new John.
John, you can leave if you want.
Okay, that's fine.
We got a new host.
Dalton does know how to run audio equipment. So.
All
I mean, I do actually, but no, it's like
Take a hike.
And it's not saying that like he's just super like overrated. It's just he hasn't done anything. Granted, he was gone for a while, but even though he's been back, he hasn't really allowed to do anything. So I'm just afraid it's gonna be the same thing where he's just gonna do the same stuff, and it's just gonna get boring. And he's just gonna fall off.
It's not boring.
What you have to do
me.
with WWE, just give it time. You know, WWE.
Yeah.
It takes a while for them to do things, especially whenever they really need to do things. So I mean, give it a couple months.
It's definitely fair to be cautious, but then you shouldn't give up your dreams until after they crush them.
Right.
Not before.
Speaking of dreams and following them, that was such a good segue, John.
I got you.
The women's division had a little promo and then a match. We had, Well, Alexa Bliss came out and delivered a hot promo. Up until the point when she asked Bayley if she ever kissed a boy, which
What was that about?
Totally threw me out of it.
That was weird.
As much as I enjoy Alexa Bliss, she irritates the. Are we allowed to
Go
say
ahead.
expletives here?
You already have.
You already
I'm wooing
have.
them.
She annoys the shit out of me with her promos. Woo! I remember being at SmackDown and she made a Child's Play reference. I'm like, these f***ing kids are like 15 years old. They're not gonna know who Child's Play is. Like, I love her promos to a point because eventually it's just like she starts making these weird comparisons. I'm like, just shut the hell up. Just let your in-ring work for you. So yes, asking Bayley if she kissed a boy, even though she's engaged, and everyone knows that.
Yeah, that was a little stupid.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, yep.
Don't know if this mic is working properly. We're gonna see though.
We'll find
Interesting.
out.
Oh boy.
The show must go on as always.
We'll start from over. It's fine.
Oh no, we will not.
We will not, boy. I have an 8 a.m. Anyways, so and then Alexa Bliss versus Sasha was next, right?
Yes.
It was.
And Alexa Bliss lost by countout.
Yeah, because she
had
decided
better things to do.
leave.
Yeah, she had better things to do.
She had to go kiss a boy.
What do you think
She
about
does
that, Ethan?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
she
it's
does
Alexa
that
Bliss
now.
fan.
Even though, let's just forget that Bayley's engaged, isn't she?
Yeah.
Hey, let's see
Maybe
what
she's
Ethan
saving
has to
herself
say.
for marriage.
Ethan.
What? Oh, I mean, I'm fine with it. It's a heel move, heel tactic, and that's what I like.
Leaving?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I
Walking
was
out.
okay with her leaving.
Oh yeah.
I thought we were still talking about.
Isn't that what you asked, Damien?
Yeah, I just wanted to hear your opinion. Big Alexa Bliss fan.
What's up, Lauren?
Kinda.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
I'm just gonna add into this because I already added in everything else already. I feel like Alexa Bliss doing what she did is a perfect heel move. Here's what bugs me about the match, though, is that the match was created from Sasha hopping on Bayley's coat.
So because of the technical difficulty we had last time, it happened again, and I didn't fix it because I'm stupid. But we all lost our train of thought, and I don't even know where we were
We were
at.
talking about Sasha randomly joining the Bayley and Alexa Bliss feud.
Yeah, basically, because she did it with Sasha. She did it with Sasha. That'd be hot.
Hi, Jess.
I mean, sell that to Vivid, make millions of dollars. No, you have Sasha hopping on the Bayley coattails.
This is the PG-13 podcast.
Half the kids who are 13 already know what Vivid are. It's fine. They have the internet. It's cool.
Goodness gracious.
It's just Bayley does not look like a solid fighting champion. She literally looks like the heel in all this situation because she has her buddy Sasha Banks come in and defend her at every time, and it looks like Bayley does not have a voice of her own.
It's gonna lead
Put
to a heel
Sasha
turn.
back in
Gonna
the.
lead to a heel turn next.
Heel turn.
I hope it's Bayley turning heel on Sasha.
No.
It's gonna happen.
We talked about this
We
tonight.
did. We literally had this
Ba-
conversation.
Bayley's not turning.
No, Bayley's gonna turn heel on Sasha because Bayley's
No,
gonna be
she's
like,
the
I'm
John
tired
Cena.
of
She's
her.
not turning
Let me
heel.
be a champion. Like, quit jumping into my stuff. Literally, like, oh my god.
I could see where you're coming from, but I just don't. Excuse me. I just don't.
Yeah, but she's one with the kids, and Vince loves the kids.
Does he though? He just loves money. That's what kids
Vince
represent.
loves the kids, but he also loves money. But who
Are you
gives
gonna
them the
send
money?
JBL to
The
bully
kids.
We will talk about that eventually. I have a
not.
bunch of stuff to say
Hey,
about
that can be your finisher. Leave that
There we
for your
go.
finisher.
Could be your
Exactly.
finisher. Anyway, so the next.
Next!
Next thing we had the little Chris Jericho, Dean Ambrose promo where the main highlight, I guess, was Dean being unlisted and then relisted again.
And he still owes him $15,000 for the
Still owes
jacket.
him $15,000. But he did bring the jacket. He wore the jacket ringside.
The blazer with the Christmas lights on it.
It was hot. I loved it.
That was nice. It was a good segment. It was funny.
Yeah, it was a good segment. Nothing more. Another Miz segment we had with Heath Slater and Curtis Axel, kind of begging them to be his partner. And it was...
Yeah, and then like the Rhino came out with his crackers and cheese, and then
funny.
Maurice flicked it out of his hand, and it was all a lot of good like funny segments this week. I thought.
Yeah.
Can we quit making Marine movies? Jesus Christ.
For real.
For real.
For
like
real.
it gets
the first one was too much.
Well, like I get the point that like WWE Studios is trying to keep some of these franchises going, but the only really good movie that's come out, like their over the top movie, was The Condemned, in my opinion. I think The Condemned, See No Evil, The First Marine, and The First 12 Rounds, both John Cena movies, were fantastic. And then obviously the one that came out not too long ago, Oculus, I believe it was. That was a horror film.
Oculus was amazing.
It was a good movie.
Oh, it was good.
And they're actually WWE Studios is getting ready to come out with another movie that is non-wrestler related called Sleight, which is about
heard
a
about
sleight
that.
of hand. It's about a sleight of hand magician who like basically actually has real magical powers or whatever.
That was cool.
Kind of like not in, oh god, I can't even think of it right now. Anyway, something like that, just telekinetic powers, whatever. But quit making these movies with all your literal mid-card guys because no one's gonna watch it. It's all going straight to
Wait,
DVD.
you didn't like Ted DiBiase Jr. in the Marine too?
I'm gonna slap the blue off of you.
Woo!
So, that was, cool. Kurt Hawkins' invitation was next. I love it, dude. I love it.
Kurt Hawkins is fantastic.
I love it right now. Like, before I hated Kurt Hawkins, but now I love him.
I mean, I wish he would win one every once in so often, but you know what?
I like it. I like him losing. It's fun. Because Apollo Crews defeated...
Yeah.
Yeah, good for Apollo Crews. We
What
were
a-
just talking about this, Dalton.
He's joined the Titus brand.
He's joined the Titus brand. And it, like, we were thinking, like, Apollo Crews is a good wrestler. He's a good athlete, like, all that stuff, and they will not let you forget about it
I
in
am
commentary.
completely afraid that him joining the Titus brand is going to kill him even more.
It's
But
gonna
we're-
save him.
It's gonna save him because
He needs
we were
character.
we were talking about how Apollo could maybe be main event or not main event, but
At least
top card,
upper tier. Yeah.
upper tier. If he had character, he doesn't have character. So like, why do I want to buy? He's just
He likes to smile, guys.
He likes to smile.
I'm hoping Titus erases
there's
the
one-
smile and makes it like something like actually cool and like
That Titus selfie was
fun.
really
That
funny.
selfie was amazing.
That was really funny.
If you ever want to get over in the company, be considered the next big thing. And for Apollo Cruz's, situation, if you want to ask the one person to be like, you know what, for someone of my personality who really didn't have any character, who can get over with the fans, he needs to talk to Bobby Lashley.
Oh my god.
When Bobby Lashley was around during his time, he didn't really have a character. He didn't really have a personality. But for some reason, that man got over, and he got over hard.
Because he's big.
Look at Apollo Crews. He
So he
literally
needs-
looks like, and I'm not saying this to like, I'm not even going to say it because it's,
Yeah.
it's going to come out wrong and I'm not
we
going to
got it.
say
We
it.
got it.
Yeah.
But no, he literally is the perfectly genetic modern day wrestler. He's a short guy and he's built like a brick house. So like this guy needs to get over with the fans, and for some reason he can't get over like Bobby Lashley, who was literally in his position not too long ago, years ago, somehow did. So he needs to talk to
We'll
that
see.
man. Make him part of the Bobby Lashley brand over on Impact and then bring him back over. Like that's what you need to
He needs to
do.
wear a headband. That's what he needs to do.
He needs a headband. He needs a headband. He needs to knock over a cage with Umaga laying underneath it. That's all he needs to happen. So that's fine.
Absolutely.
And he needs to shave Vince McMahon. Once Apollo Crews shaves Vince McMahon's head, he's over for life.
That'd be
That's true.
perfect.
That's true. So, was the next event or the next segment the main event? Because
Yes.
okay, cool. Because I didn't write it down for whatever reason.
That's a surpriser, John.
Yeah, I know. So we had The Miz coming out, and his partner that he was so excited about didn't show up. So it was going to be Miz versus Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose, of course, as you do naturally. And then, I mean, it was an okay match throughout
Mrs. Partner didn't come out.
until
His partner was
His partner
what
never
they say,
came out.
Vacant.
Bray Wyatt. Bray
Well,
Wyatt showed up.
did the match end?
That's what I was wondering. I was asking myself that question. Is like, is that technically a win for
On CBS Sports said it was just a draw.
Yeah, it was a no contest. I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's a no contest.
I'm gonna say too, it's a no contest, just because the way referees are supposed to be portrayed nowadays. Once the bell rings, that's how it is. So you could have a scheduled tag team partner, but if they never show up and that bell rings, like
That's it.
it's it. So I think when he came out, it should have been a disqualification. But
Right, it should have been. That's what I'm
But
saying.
calling
is
it a no
should have been
contest
disqualification.
because then again, like no one knew who his partner was. The only person that knew who his partner was
and
was
that
The
what,
Miz.
and that's what I was wondering is because the ref just dipped, and so I was like,
Yeah, he just bounced.
It's obvious that like they were saying that, inferring that this was his partner,
Yeah.
making you infer that this was his partner. But if it wasn't his partner, then it should have been a disqualification. Like I don't know, it was confusing. And then he beat up everybody,
Including The
which
Miz.
yeah, including the Miz.
Which I'm okay with.
The Miz was the last guy he laid out, so I was a little confused. Like,
I think it's just like showing that Bray's an independent. Like he's
Oh,
always
he's
been. He's
scared.
always
He
been
don't
an
need no
independent.
man.
Yeah, I know,
He don't
and I'm
need no
saying
man.
that I don't believe that he can actually beat up all these people because.
It's also like the old cliche too, where it's like, you know, you have this, we'll say, quote unquote, popular kid, okay, who even though he didn't really hire, he's just like, I'll do this anyway, hires the big bully, and the bully does the dirty work for him, and like the rich kid comes up and is like taps on the shoulder, like, yeah, we did this together, and the bully's like, what the this? Like you didn't do shit, and so he, like, you know, lays him out. So it's like going what you guys said, you know, it looks like he is an independent man, but also it's like, you know, I'm not. Yeah, like I was gonna be your partner, but don't take credit for something I did. And also, don't touch him. Like you're the Miz, you don't touch Bray Wyatt.
Right.
Like Bray Wyatt touches you. Like that's just how it is.
oh my god.
So we.
SmackDown.
Yeah, we're gonna
Live.
switch on over to SmackDown where Bray should be. But
Yeah, smack
of
your
course.
TV.
So there was I missed the first half of it. So there was a Shinsuke and
The artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah, he's
That's
the
his name.
artist.
That's his
The
name now.
artist.
He's an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
You got
understand
Gentleman
that.
Jack Gallagher, which is a forced gimmick, and now you have the artist known
Love
as. Oh, you love it.
Love it.
You
I
love hearing
that.
the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura every single time. They say his
Name one thing he can do artistically.
Nothing.
Wrestle.
He can
His
entrance
wrestling.
is-
Everything is
artistic.
art.
His strong style is
His
art.
wrestling is artistic.
His seizing is
Anyway,
art.
so what happened?
He came
Nothing
out
important?
about to talk. Dolph comes out, basically says everything that I've ever said about him. Like, lol, you can't speak English.
I'm gonna talk for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk for
He said
you.
his real name was Michael, and he's from Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, he accused him of being Michael
Yeah,
Jackson.
I feel that they
Literally.
brought him on. If they're gonna try and save his first debut match for pay-per-view, then they shouldn't have brought him on so early. Like, it just.
It was funny though, because he asked Shinsuke a question and he answered it. And he goes, "Oh well, for those of you that don't speak Japanese," which he answered in English, it's broken English. As well as don't speak Japanese, he just said blah blah blah, and I was
Another
like,
foreigner.
That was
gimmick
awesome.
That we got going on.
"At least he's a
Whatever.
babyface."
So then the next segment we had Styles beating Corbin. Right?
Well, at the end of that segment,
with the roll.
at the end of that segment, Dolph attacked Shinsuke, but then Shinsuke still beat him
Of
up
course, he got on top of that one.
because he's Japanese Roman Reigns.
He's protected.
Basically, yeah.
Anyways, AJ versus Baron Corbin with KO on commentary.
Okay, I was on commentary.
Yeah,
that was a
and he
good
shaved his
time.
beard again, and he cut his hair again.
Did
Yeah,
JBL like?
Did he bully him?
I don't listen to JBL. I don't
No,
know.
he loved all over him. So because he's like he's the face of America.
Oh, of course, of course. Surprising because he's from Texas. So like, isn't he from Texas?
JBL?
From New
Yeah.
York.
I thought he was a Texas.
Texas. I think the gimmick's from New York because he's a
Well, I mean, it makes
Wall
sense.
Street.
I would really hope he's from Texas because that makes more to the adage, you know, like there's only one thing that comes from Texas. And I can
That
damn
kinda
sure tell
guy.
you right now that he is not a steer according to the stories that I've heard about him in the shower with
Yeah,
like, the
he's
young
from
boys.
Sweetwater,
Oh,
Texas.
Yeah.
Anyways,
And then what?
Hashtag bully
Charlotte,
me, JBL.
Charlotte promo.
Charlotte interview. She says, "I'm gonna win."
I typed in "Where's JBL from" and it came up American. Yeah, he's from Texas.
Okay.
Sweetwater.
Oh yeah, you guys just said that. Oh, I was wondering why you said
Yeah, John.
Sweetwater. I was like,
Anyway,
the music place. Anyways, Charlotte promo. Anything out of
she
that?
said, "I'm gonna win."
Yep.
That was it.
I'm
She's
gonna
going
win.
to.
Oh, she's going to.
Absolutely.
We'll see.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
We're flying through SmackDown.
Well,
We need to.
besides the Charlotte promo, was there anything with Naomi and Charlotte at all? Did Naomi do anything?
We'll
Just
we'll
Charlotte
get
said,
there.
"I'm gonna win."
Okay, we're gonna get there. Okay, because
Yes.
Because
yes.
once we get to Naomi, I'm gonna pull up my spreadsheet again.
Oh my god.
So then we had the first match in the Beat the Clock for the number one contender for the tag team championship. And we had American Alpha defeating the Cologne brothers.
And they had new music and
Did they
gear.
have new music?
Yeah, they looked good.
Thank you.
Nice.
But I don't know why you have the Colognes destroying American Alpha week in and week out. And then when it comes to an actual match, they're like,
Fitty.
Like, oops.
Well,
that's
they beat him
not
last week.
50-50.
They beat him last
Yeah.
week, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
they
that's
lost
true.
this week.
But I mean, in all
50-50.
fairness, though, if you had to be repackaged as the Shining Stars and Los Matadores, you'd probably be pissed off too.
Yeah.
So like, you probably just beat the shit out of anybody that you could find.
I like the new Cologne brothers, though.
Yeah.
I like them. They're cool.
Now let's bring back Carlito.
Yeah, bring back Carlito. That'd be cool.
Please.
So then American Alpha's time to beat was what, 5, 17? Something like that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's a good time. And
I like
then there was
American
a video promo for Rusev. I thought you guys said he was coming back tonight. That was the only
No,
thing?
he's still hurt. He had to do a promo.
Yeah.
I hate it. I want
Apparently,
Rusev
he's
back.
in trouble right now with the company because
But
he shaved his head.
Rusev said that he didn't want to move to SmackDown because he hates Daniel Bryan and he hates
hates
Shake
Shane
Man.
Right off the
and
bat,
he
but just not
hated
making
the
any friends.
shake up. Yeah, and then he said the only reason he would go to SmackDown, the only way he would go to SmackDown is if he got a title match at Money in the Bank. So,
Otherwise, he's going back to Bulgaria.
yeah.
I'm
otherwise-
packing my
Not even back
bags
to
and
Raw,
going
but he's
to
leaving
Bulgaria.
WWE
Yeah.
entirely.
Yeah, you can't just stay in America and be like Ring of Honor or something.
Well-
like that.
If that's the case, sayonara, brother.
He's gonna run the Bulgarian independent scene for a while.
So
That'd be
that's
dope.
really far in advance, but at least we know a little bit of a timetable when he's going to be available.
Or going
So-
back to Bulgaria.
So then we had the Becky Lynch and I don't even know what to call them at this point. They're like the Mean Girls.
The Mean Girls.
The Mean Girls clique.
The submission sorority.
They had a promo.
No.
The mean, can we say the Mean Girls? Because
Yeah.
James Ellsworth is in there.
Well, yeah, it's still Mean Girls.
Yeah, he's like,
right.
you know, have
Is
you
he
ever
the
watched the
Lindsay
Mean Girls?
Lohan of
He's-
the Mean Girls?
He is
yes,
Lindsay Lohan.
yes. I hate it. It's so stupid. Like
They're just mad that Charlotte took their spot. Is basically
they
all it is.
act
It's
like
petty.
teenage girls. I
Well,
hate
that's
it.
that's Natalia for you.
You could say they're
You're ugly.
divas.
No, they're women. They're
They're women.
superstars.
No,
They
okay,
are
so
superstars.
so I'm just gonna go ahead and pull up my spreadsheet here.
Already.
Another one. Another one. I feel like looking at the both women's divisions, Raw has a women's division. SmackDown has a Divas division. Because going what you guys just talked about, you have the Mean Girls Club and all this stuff. Yada. The only pure athlete that is over on SmackDown right now, okay, maybe two. Well, okay, we'll say there's two. We'll say there's Charlotte and Natalia. The only true pure athletes. Because no one cares about Tamina Snuka. Sad. Carmella can't change her damn gimmick. Ellsworth is basically just there, but he's still a diva.
He's a diva.
Becky Lynch is a good athlete, but she doesn't have really much of a character behind her.
I agree.
And then Naomi, change your entrance.
It's unique though.
I hate it.
Whoa.
Hate it.
Whoa, woo, 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 woo.
Here's why. Here's
like
why I
the
say
you
that.
don't like the glow? You don't feel the glow?
I do not feel the glow.
Doesn't feel the
I
glow.
feel the glow.
I feel the glow.
There are only two people that deserve a long ass entrance, and that is Ric Flair and The Undertaker. The only reason why, if she wanted to have a long entrance
And
like
Finn
that,
Balor.
Oh,
Demon Balor.
Okay.
Get your shit right. Naomi's entrance, going back to what I said earlier, pro wrestling is about one thing, and that is suspension of disbelief. She ruins that to a f***ing T.
what?
Ooh.
You honestly
so
can't.
harsh?
You honestly cannot sit there and be okay. You cannot honestly
dancing.
sit there and believe that this person who is dancing all the way out to the ring in neon everything and is literally laying on here, shaking around like she's Shawn Michaels praying to God and like doing all this stuff for a whole 2 minutes down to the ring is a believable athlete. Like I just cannot see it. Cannot see it. Maybe in Japan.
She was a funkadactyl
Maybe in
or whatever the
Japan.
heck that was
Maybe in
called.
Japan.
She's such
but
a
not here
great
in America.
athlete.
Well,
You harsh.
Not as harsh as her booty bump. Hello.
oh, goodness. So the next segment we had was a good little no DQ match. We had Randy Orton and Eric Rowan with Randy Orton, of course, getting the dub.
Poor Eric Rowan.
Poor
man.
Eric Rowan.
We say this every
good
week.
match.
I
I
think.
wonder if they told him, like, hey, when you come back, you're going to be a jobber.
You're gonna do absolutely nothing.
gonna
And
do the
Bray's
same
gonna-
thing.
Bray's going
Bray's
to
gonna
Raw.
leave,
You're going to
you're gonna
stay
lose.
here.
Remember what I said? What happens when you are stuck with a faction for so long?
Eric Rowan was the bad part of that.
But he's a
Yeah.
genius, right?
Because Luke Harper's doing fine. Even
He
though
wasn't even on the show this week.
well, I'm
Yeah,
saying
he's doing great.
as a singles, but I don't know.
See, which is weird too, because when Harper was gone, Eric Rowan was to the moon.
Yeah.
Rowan gets hurt. Here comes, Luke Harper off Raw when they did the draft, back to SmackDown to fill that void, and there goes his career.
Yeah.
Now you have all 3 of the White members back on Raw. Well, you have 2 of the White members back on SmackDown. So it's like they literally have no ground because either Luke Harper and Eric Rowan are going to either stick with the Wyatt family gimmick or they're going to try to change, and it's not going to work. And it sucks.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. So then we had after that match, we had Jinder Mahal come out. Good gravy.
Jinder.
Don't hinder the gender. What a guy.
Well, first Orton cut that promo on Bray. and he was
yeah,
like-
he did.
with the worst line of the night, where he's like, "I still don't know what a House of Horrors match is, but I guess on Sunday I might find out." Really?
Dun, dun,
You think you might? Think you're gonna find out what it is?
Let's see, just decides. I don't
He's
know.
like,
I'm not showing up to that.
what in the world?
Well, it may not be for a title match anymore, so
It's not for
It's
the
not.
title.
it's not for the title
No,
now.
it's not.
Officially.
It's definitely not.
Wait, what's not?
I mean, Jinder has the title. It's gone.
That's
Oh,
the,
yeah.
It can't be for the title.
Which, because I'm going to need you guys' honest opinion.
Oh my god.
You guys can go in a circle. Honest opinion is about Jinder Mahal, and then I'll give my answer to this question.
You want me to go first?
Absolutely.
Hey,
Go ahead.
ask me what I think about gender.
I'll ask you later, okay?
Okay.
Okay. I'm starting to like him, honestly. Like, I didn't like him before, like, since he was just a jobber, because, like, what are you doing here? But I feel like Jinder now has a purpose, and I'm enjoying it, honestly,
Yeah, I'm
especially with the
gonna go-
Bollywood boys.
Oh,
I mean,
we're
I
going in a
feel like
circle.
it could... Yeah, you ain't... You
Screw
all...
circles.
All right, Damien, go.
You didn't ask him.
Oh, Damien, how do you feel about Jinder Mahal?
He big.
Oh, okay.
But
Big.
but anyways, it's a little weird having him because he won like 2 matches since August.
Yep.
But they always do that, foreigner character where you have to hate him, kind of like what they did with Rusev back in the day. But now it's gender, and it's gonna be weird to see what they do. He took the championship. We'll see if he gets involved on Sunday or he just stays out of it and waits till Tuesday to bring the championship back to SmackDown. Nicholas.
I don't like Jinder, but I think he's the perfect filler feud for this Orton, fresh off his win against Bray Wyatt, because he has the easy to hate gimmick. He gets legit heat because people don't want to see him, and he's also like big and scary, and he has the whole stable going now with the Bollywood boys, which I really enjoy that. So I mean, it'll be nice to see Orton run him over the next month and then move on to someone else.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with that. I don't like Jinder, but if what Meltz was saying was true, is that Rusev was the plan for this and not Jinder, then I guess Jinder's the only option, because also Meltz said that it looks like Randy Orton's going to end up feuding with Baron Corbin by the end of 2017, so they don't want to push that yet. And they obviously need to push Baron Corbin more and make him look better. And so Jinder's getting legitimate heat out there. I don't like him. I don't think he's
Not at
a
all.
good wrestler. But we'll see what happens.
Dalton,
Okay.
what do you think about
So-
Jinder Mahal?
He big.
He big. No, so I'm just going to go ahead and flat out say this. I know I went through and said, like, my current favorite wrestlers, but I am solely on the Jinder jet plane all the
Oh my
way
God.
to the moon and back.
That's 3 strikes, you're out, my dude.
Here's
your
why I
last
say this.
time.
Here's why I say this. He has had a very unique career within WWE. I currently have been going through and rewatching NXT when it was started being filmed in Orlando from the very beginning. And
Oh,
he was
yeah.
one of the most pivotal parts in
He's a
NXT.
top contender on the show.
He was a top contender in the show, and he faced some of the bigger names in NXT during the time. And then obviously when he came to the main roster, he obviously got pushed aside, and then he joined 3MB, which was probably one of the best factions that happened, not for like wrestling purposes, but just for comedic purposes, and like it just gave you someone to get behind.
VLC?
And then obviously he left. Now, some of you may know the story, some of you may not, but I have to tell the story just to show you what kind of career this guy's had literally within 2 years, okay? So a really good friend of mine, another independent wrestler by the name of Mark Vandy, gonna pick that name up,
Name drop.
went to WrestleMania 32. He went down for 3 days, went to WrestleCon, and went to WrestleMania itself. He is a huge Jinder Mahal fan. Like, this guy can do no wrong in his eyes. He's a
Mark.
huge Jinder Mahal fan.
Mark.
He goes to WrestleCon and sees Jinder Mahal's table. He walked straight up to his table and started talking to this man. Now, let me clarify this. Mark is a guy who has wrestled some big names in wrestling. He has wrestled in his 6 months into the business. He wrestled Kevin Nash.
Name
He
drop.
went over on Kevin Nash. Okay, this guy has wrestled Tommy Dreamer, Colt
Name drop.
Cabana, the
Name drop.
Hurricane.
Name drop.
And at WrestleCon, this guy is getting his name called out by these people saying, "Hey, come to my booth. I want to talk to you." He goes up to Jinder Mahal's booth, extremely excited to meet this guy because what's the one thing that keeps us going in this business as wrestlers? Being fans. And so you're going to be fans of the guys who are more successful than you. Jinder Mahal was extremely surprised that someone came up to his booth.
As he should
He
be.
was extremely surprised. Like, he had this look of, why are you wanting to talk to me? That was at WrestleMania 32. And this is a guy who was surprised that someone was talking to him.
That was before he got fired, I'm pretty sure. Or no, that was after he got fired.
That was after he got fired.
Yeah.
And now he is the number one contender for
Well,
the
Jinder's
WWE.
promo on
Mark made
Talking
the right
Smack a
investment.
couple weeks ago was like, "You're gonna see, I'm gonna be the next champion," and then literally the
Immediately.
next week he's the number one contender. The reason, as Damian said, he just wasn't booked right.
Right.
He won 2 matches since August.
Right, which is fair. Another reason why they're doing it too, because like most everyone else, I read the dirt sheets as well. And originally it was done because they want to gain more of an audience in the Indian market, and so better way to do
Since
that.
I guess Impact is gaining.
Yeah,
a
they
big
are.
audience in-
Big time.
Which I'll get to that in a second. Well, actually, I said that earlier with Congo going to India, which is also kind of funny too, because not only are they having Jinder, go for the title, and they're trying to bring in all these fans from India, but who are his cronies? The Bollywood boys.
I love those
So I
guys.
also see why they're doing it too. Now, some people can look at that as basically being like one of the most racial things you could do. It's like, oh, you want more fans in this market? Let's use this person of this nationality. But it could benefit him. It really could. This will be his time to shine. And I will bet you that if he does not win the title at Backlash, he will give a good enough performance and a good enough match with Randy Orton that he will feud for the title all the way up until the next SmackDown pay-per-view and possibly take it off Randy. And now, granted, if he takes it off Randy, people will lose their minds, but there's nothing wrong with being a transitional champion.
True. Look at Triple H recently.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. So, the next segment was Breezango beating the Ascension in time.
Dumb.
Heck yes.
Awesome.
You were. That's 4, dude. You were out of
You'll
here.
get 4 strikes in this podcast. Get out.
I think it's a great idea.
It's awesome.
Dude, I love
I love it.
Febreze.
And it was funny because they were actually surprised themselves that they
Yeah,
won.
they were.
They're like,
They're like, oh my god,
We
we
gotta
won.
get out of here now.
They bailed. Yeah.
It finally gave them something. They've been partners since basically the brand split. So I think it gives them something to do and not just
Right.
be a
And
floater
then
tag team.
I think it'll be a fun clash of characters too, with the goofy fashion police and then the street thugs, Usos. I think it'll be a really funny, good feud.
It was dumb.
You're wrong.
It was dumb, and here's why I say it was dumb. They deserved a better tag team match with a better team than the Ascension.
What?
That is why I'm saying that entire segment was dumb.
We like the Ascension here.
That's 5.
That's 5. We like the Ascension here.
No, I am very much behind the Ascension. I really am. But if you want to get them over, put them with a better tag team. Because, there was that time where the Ascension, tried, for some reason, cut this promo saying that they're the better tag teams. And, which obviously was a great promo to cut because you're trying to get over as a heel. But for some reason, the IWC is like, no, we hate that.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I don't understand.
I feel like if it would have been Breezango against American Alpha, that match would have been hot.
When they beat the Usos, it'll be hot. They're building them up.
Building them up.
Yeah.
I didn't have the next segment. I stopped because I came to set up for recording. So
We could just
was
go to
that just?
There was a spooky Bray Wyatt vignette.
Oh yes.
It was a vignette, not a promo. It was just the hype for this match.
Of course.
And then after that, Naomi cut a cheesy I'm gonna win this match promo.
Yeah.
In
woo.
Gorilla.
So then Charlotte and Naomi next main event.
Yep.
For the women's championship, as promised last week if Charlotte won, which she did.
Notice how on SmackDown, I think Ethan pointed this out when we were watching, they don't force it down your throat. Oh my god, the women are main eventing. Oh my god, the women. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It was just, look, this is the main event. Here we are.
Here's the main event. Here we are.
There was no forcing
Like,
or
no
anything. It was
women's
just natural.
revolution,
You
oh.
assume that they're going to be the main event because it's the title match. It's perfect.
Hashtag SmackDown's better.
Yes.
True that.
No, it's cliche, but it's accurate also.
And so the match was okay. It was pretty good throughout the entire thing. I don't think they have like a lot of chemistry together, so like it's just kind of weird, and it just feels like, oh hey, this.
But
is
I think that will develop over time.
I think it'll develop
Yeah.
over time as well. But we had the Mean Girl clique come in and disqualify.
Were you gonna say something, Dalton?
You gonna say something?
No, you said click, so I got to throw up my Wolfpack sign. Like that's just
Oh,
like
yes.
you have to, like you can't say click.
So
and
I
not
wonder
do
what
that.
this is going to lead to. If this is going to lead to like another.
I think
Charlotte face
Charlotte's
turn.
going to turn face. Yeah,
That's what I was wondering.
because there's 3 main girls in the heel clique, and then there's going to be 3 faces in Naomi, Becky, and Charlotte.
I would like to see it. I think it'd be cool. I
Why
wish.
Charlotte doesn't have to turn heel or face, but like she
I
can
wish
just
the way they
team
would
up
have
against
done
them.
it. No, I wish the
I
way
mean,
they
her
would have
and-
done
her
it
and
is
Be-
had Charlotte get the championship, win it off of Naomi, and then have the Mean Girls
Yeah.
come out and then beat her up. That way,
And
she
then have
has
her
a
turn.
Yeah, because now I don't really want Naomi as a champion. If
Me
Charlotte's
neither.
there,
Honestly, I've never seen a good Naomi match.
She's
I
so
just-
clunky and like
I have yet.
sh-
That's why I was-
she can do cool spots with like her moonsaults and stuff.
Yeah.
But just overall,
But that's why
there's no flow to her matches.
I was
I
so
don't think.
upset when she won the championship off Alexa because honestly, I've never seen her. She's
That's
been the
why.
same.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
okay,
that is
Okay,
why.
okay,
That
okay.
is
Whoa,
why.
whoa, whoa. Besides
Okay.
that point, I've just never seen a good Naomi match. I mean,
I would have to agree.
I do
I just
agree.
don't
has
see
Naomi
what's so
ever
good in
lost to
her.
Alexa Bliss?
maybe
Maybe
I don't
in,
know.
like,
I
a
can't
regular
remember
singles
honestly,
match, but-
yeah.
She's very athletic. She can do cool spots, but her matches just
Yeah,
overall
I
are
agree.
just.
But yeah, y'all shit on me when I said her entrance sucked.
That's not the
Okay,
point.
that's okay. Her entrance is cool, but her in-ring ability is not
Yeah,
the
that's
greatest.
completely-
No, it goes hand in hand. Like
No,
Yeah,
no.
What do you know about wrestling, Dalton? Nothing.
You're a mark.
I mean, I once had Abyss told me that I was the same size as AJ Styles, so it's fine.
Oh, dang. Name drop.
I'm just
Double.
gonna go ahead and pick this up.
So let's go ahead, and this podcast has been long, and we still have Payback to
Predictions.
get to. Predictions time. So let's try to run through these.
Yeah, let's go as fast as we can.
Look like we have.
Let's not explain. Let's just go through it.
Okay, that's fine. We have the tag match on the pre-show. Who you got, Dalton? Who you got? Why?
I'm gonna go the club because logically it makes sense. Because what the hell has Enzo and Cass done recently? I feel like the club is one of the better teams that they have. Until Enzo and Cass can actually get better traction behind them with the fans, I feel like it's gonna go to the club.
Okay, Ethan.
I got the club as well.
The club.
Okay.
Club, because I think they're gonna go somewhere with Finn. Because I'm really.
I hope so.
I'm too
We
hopeful.
hope so.
Way
I
too
have-
hopeful.
I have Enzo and Big Cass.
Well,
Because the club isn't.
That's strike
Hold
one.
on, hold on. The club isn't doing anything. I'm gonna explain myself on this one. The club isn't doing anything, and it's a cheap pop on a pre-show match to get people to get the network right then and there. That's what I'm saying.
Are we gonna predict what happens?
Wait, are
in
you
the Miz
literally
TV
saying
segment?
that the match of Enzo and Cass in the club is gonna like sway people to get the network?
That's what they're gonna try.
That's
is
the
what I'm
cruiserweight
saying.
match?
That is the worst match to do that with.
I didn't book it.
Are we going
Maybe
to?
you
Do we
should.
have predictions for the Miz TV segment or not?
Finn Balor's
don't-
gonna beat the crap out of the Miz.
I mean, I have.
Boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boom, Elias Sampson shows up.
Maybe. Honestly, probably.
So then we start the actual show with the Cruiserweight Championship. Neville versus Austin Aries. Dalton?
Austin Aries, because deep down I feel like WrestleMania was not the hammer or the hammer to the nail of their feud. I feel like WrestleMania this year was more of a conclusion to the storyline. So I feel like with Payback, Austin Aries is going to finally get the Cruiserweight title off Neville.
Are you
And
gonna say he's gonna
further,
get Payback?
what was that?
Are you saying he's going to get Payback? Whip.
Oh.
Me personally, that's strike two.
Woo!
Otherwise, I'm gonna hit you with my finish. So no, I'm gonna give it to Austin Aries. I feel like he'll be the next guy to take the cruiserweight division to bigger and higher levels, and that way we're gonna see a much better cruiserweight division with him as the man.
Yeah.
Hey, Ethan.
Okay, I just now last minute switched this because I just had an idea. I'm gonna have Austin Aries win by DQ, so Neville keeps his title. That's how I got. Because Neville is not done holding that belt. He is not done. He's still the king. Still the king of the cruiserweights.
Fabian?
Boy, I wanted Austin Aries to win at WrestleMania, but I've totally switched that. Neville's going to win this, and he's going to hold it until SummerSlam. And I think the feud will go on until SummerSlam between Austin Aries
As
and
it
Neville.
should. Nick?
I think I hope Aries will win, but I think if he loses, it'll be because TJ Perkins gets involved because
Yeah.
he's
He's
apparently-
going to dab on him.
I was just
apparently
gonna
he's
say
friends
that
with
too.
Neville now.
I was going to say that too. I think there might be some interference with TJP, but I do think Neville. I don't know if Neville will win, but I know Neville will retain.
That's fair.
Will we see Gentleman Jack Gallagher?
I don't think so.
Possibly.
I don't think he's in. I think he's just thrown in there as a body.
He's gonna come down from the rafters like Mary
On an
Poppins on an
umbrella?
umbrella. He's gonna
You mean
come
like
down
Owen
like
Hart?
Oh,
I was gonna say Blue Blazer out of respect.
oh,
for the name.
lad.
goodness.
Ooh, lad.
We are gonna go on to the next match, the tag team match. The Hardy Boys and Cesaro. Dalton.
Like I said earlier, it's gonna be the Hardy Boys because why the hell would they have them drop the tag titles
True.
a month after they got them?
Ethan.
Got the Hardy Boys retaining.
Damien.
The Hardy Boys.
Yes, sir.
Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys. That's a clean sweep right there, boys.
Wow.
That's a good one.
So we have Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe. Just a regular match, I believe. Dalton.
I feel like this show is going to be very predictable just because with the matches that are going on and the way the Superstar shakeup worked out. So I feel like the match is going to go to Samoa Joe because him and Rollins haven't had much of an interaction between the two all the way up until Rollins' match at WrestleMania since he got hurt before his WrestleMania match. I feel like Samoa Joe is going to win this one because they're going to feud all the way up until SummerSlam and have a big blow-off match.
Ethan.
Samoa Joe.
Damien.
I would have to agree, Samoa Joe, because they've been trying to book him as this big destroyer, and really, he hasn't really done much. So I hope he actually gets a big pay-per-view win.
Yeah.
Can I say I don't care? Because neither of them have had any direction. It's just kind of
Yeah.
mean guy hates nice
you
guy.
had to choose.
I guess Samoa Joe.
I'm actually gonna go Seth Rollins. I think he's gonna win by DQ because I think somebody's gonna intervene and attack Seth Rollins or something. Something's gonna happen.
We've been saying that for the past 3.
And see, the issue with that,
shows.
too, is that the only person that would logically interfere in that match would be Kevin Owens, but he's on the Blue brand
Exactly.
now. So who's going to run it?
Why would he care?
It's not going to be Triple H.
You never know.
No, he's on vacation with Stephanie right now. That's why she wasn't on
you're
TV
right.
because she booked a vacation after
Speaking
WrestleMania.
speaking of Kevin Owens, we have the U.S. Championship next. Kevin
Nice
Owens,
segue.
Chris Jericho. Who you got?
Kevin Owens, because Chris Jericho's going on tour with Fozzy, and why the hell would they drop him the title when he's going on tour? That's the logical reason why.
Ethan.
Yeah, I think it's very logical that Kevin Owens should retain here and bring the U.S. Championship to
You're biased.
SmackDown with himself. No, I'm not biased.
Kevin Owens is making America great again, by the way.
Damien.
I was just kidding with you, Kevin Owens.
Nick.
Kevin's going to win, but I'm more excited about Fozzie's new album coming out than I am about Kevin winning this match, to be honest.
Good gravy.
I'm a big Fozzie
You
guy.
were so apathetic.
I'm a big Fozzie guy, all right?
Of course you are. You're like Dad Rock.
Oh, my God.
KO. I don't know why they would have Chris Jericho win.
Well, not only on top
You
of that.
can't have two absent titles.
Exactly.
You can't.
No.
Be stupid. So we have next the Raw Women's Championship. We have Bayley and Alexa Bliss. Dalton. I almost called you Damien.
That's two. You're going to get hit with the finish here
That'd be an
soon.
insult.
As cool as it would... I'm going to say Alexa Bliss. Just because I feel like this Bayley-Sasha thing is just going to go on for long enough, and either Bayley's going to get and beat the hell out of Sasha, or something's going to happen with Bayley, and Sasha's going to hit Bayley. Either way, I think Alexa's going to win. I'm still up in the air about if it's going to be by TQ or not. If I had to make a decision right now, I feel like Alexa's going to win and take the title home. Just to show her stamp as being one of the better women's wrestlers in WWE right now. So I feel like I'm going to Alexa Bliss.
I really want to agree with you, Dalton. I really want to, but I know it hurts not to. But I think Bayley's going to retain.
Oh, goodness. Damien?
Logic.
I'm gonna have to agree with Dalton because basically everything that you said I've been thinking for a long time. So Alexa Bliss is gonna take the title.
I agree with what Dalton and Damien say, but I think it's the reason that she won't win because she already has all this heat from SmackDown being the top heel on SmackDown, so she's just a transitional feud for Bayley, kind of delaying again the Sasha heel turn that I think is going to happen. But I'm closer to a major pay-per-view than it is to middle of spring.
What I've said before, that they don't need that title to have a feud. Have a feud that's not for the title. Give Alexa the title. Have someone face her. Have Bayley versus Sasha, not for the title.
See, that's the issue with the Raw women's roster is that they have had X amount of title changes between 3 of their women.
Yep. Well, my prediction actually changed tonight because I thought if Charlotte was going to win, then Alexa wouldn't win and Bayley would retain. But now, since Charlotte didn't win, I think that Alexa's going to win because I think it would be weird to have, at the exact same time, have the title switch basically to, like, you know,
like
the
both.
Raw, yeah, like both have that big moment of like, oh, well, the Raw women on top is over there with the title, and then like the SmackDown woman on top is over there with the title. So like,
I like him on top.
oh my goodness, great, good gravy. So the next match apparently is the House of Horrors match. I guess that's not the main event, but since it's not the title,
Of course not. It's not Roman Reigns.
So we have the House of Horrors match. Of course, Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. How can you forget? Dalton.
I'm kind of excited to see how this match is going to turn out. I really wish, like, from what everyone's been saying, like, part of it's going to start in the House of Horror and it's going to end up in the ring. Kind of don't want that. I wish it would kind of be like a Ravens Rules or Full Metal Mayhem or, what was one that TNA used to do besides Full Metal Mayhem? I think that was Full Metal Mayhem where they had just like part of the cage and all the weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
Or like the Ambrose Asylum, like Ambrose did with Jericho. I feel like if it was just like a cage or part of a cage with just weapons galore, that would be dope. But I'm interested to see how this match is going to turn out. Maybe it'd be like the Boiler Room Brawl type matches.
Who do you have?
Hold on now, I'm going to get there. With that, though, it's going to have to go to Randy because he just got the belt off Bray. He's going to defend the title at Backlash against Jinder. Why would you have him lose to Bray?
Ethan?
See, since if this was for the WWE title, I would instantly pick Randy. But I think since it's not, I believe that Bray's going to get his revenge, which is so stupid. But I just feel like that's what WWE's going to do. And maybe win somehow that makes Randy still look strong for his upcoming match with Jinder. But who knows?
Damien?
I have Randy winning. Not because I don't like Bray, but I feel like what you said, why build or why have Randy lose when he's about to have a title match at the next month's pay-per-view? But I think if Jinder gets involved somehow, Bray could win. But I don't think Bray's gonna win like super clean against Randy.
Nick?
I think Bray wins just because Orton right now is not being booked strong. He's vulnerable right now because he got beat down by the Bollywood Boys and Jinder on SmackDown. So maybe now he's kind of vulnerable in a way that he can lose clean in a match he's never heard of before because he has his sights set on someone else.
I also have Bray. I think that they're going to give it to him. It's stupid. Of course it's stupid, but I think they're going to give it to him. Just to make him not look like the guy that's all talk anymore and that he can actually win a match. I don't know, though. We'll see. So then, apparently we have the main event, which is Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. Dalton?
Braun. Just because of the fact of Roman's going to have this big push behind him, especially with his brother just recently passing away. So if you're still the pro Roman Reigns babyface nut, that's probably going to be your go-to thing. I feel like this one's finally going to go to Braun. I feel like Braun's finally going to get his just deserved win over Roman and finally become the monster that Raw deserves.
Ethan?
See, that would be the best thing to do, but I feel like, nope, it's just going to give it to Roman. So I'm going to have Roman coming back being the ultimate underdog that he is, coming back and beating Braun clean.
Damien?
How can Roman Reigns overcome these odds, John? He's going to, and Roman's going to win this Sunday.
Nick?
The match is going to go two ways, or one of two ways. Either he has to overcome the odds with his messed up shoulder and still win the match, which I think will happen, or Braun will work the shoulder the whole match and then he'll lose clean because he's only like 80% healthy right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I want, because it's WWE, like I think it's gonna be Roman, but at the same time I also think it's gonna be Braun. So I'm just gonna go with Braun. That's my choice. Braun Strowman on this one.
Okay.
They're not gonna mess up his push this time.
No, absolutely not.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Anyways, so let us end this show. Dalton,
Yes, sir.
give us your finisher.
What is my finisher?
What is your finisher?
Like, what is
Do you
the
have a finisher?
Talk
I
about
do
talk
have a
about your
finisher.
show coming up on Saturday.
Yeah.
Wait,
Hold on.
we need your finisher
let's
first.
save your finisher
Hey.
for last. Wait.
Save
Well,
mine
that'll
for
be
last.
his finisher.
We'll save mine for last. You guys go ahead and do yours.
Okay.
That's fine.
That
Ethan.
works.
Okay. So I'm really liking the new SmackDown.
Excited for the future?
No, I actually like how SmackDown is becoming finally becoming the land of opportunity, like how it said that they were in the beginning. So with I'm really liking how Jinder won. I really like how Febreze won, and I really hope more stars get their time to shine, in the future. So,
Damien?
It's super late. I don't really have much to say, but to go back with Charlotte, I think Charlotte should turn, maybe not face just yet, but I would like to see her and Becky tag together and have a friendship. Maybe they'll turn Becky Lynch heel. Maybe, I don't know.
Has Charlotte been your finisher for the past month?
No.
Pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure
Dude,
she
I
has.
have a thing for Charlotte.
Excited for the future in Charlotte.
No, last week was about SmackDown, you piece of crap.
Nick?
I just kind of have a meme answer because it's 12:30 in the morning and I'm tired. I think it'd be funny if, like Dalton says, down the line, Jinder wins the title and then Rusev comes back and challenges him for it. Because remember when they were a team on Raw, for a month?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Money in the Bank is Jinder and Rusev is the main event. Yeah. Let's do it.
Rusev is the babyface to come and save us.
Save us from Jinder.
With
Dancing Lana.
So I guess both of you said I'm tired. It's late.
Pansies.
WWE, don't mess up Braun Strowman's bush again. Don't make him lose clean to Roman Reigns, who is hurt, cracked ribs, messed up shoulder. I know. Dalton,
Yes, sir.
give us your finisher. Tell
What are you
us
doing
about-
Saturday?
Tell us about your plans, my friend.
So this Saturday, like most people know, will be my first show back nearly 1 year in my hometown of Crawfordsville, Indiana. It's where I was born, it's where I was raised, it's where I graduated in 2014. Which, another side note, it's also the hometown of the Ultimate Warrior, Mr. James Hellwig. So that is
The
also
last
another thing
name
too.
drop of the night.
Yeah, his sister still lives in town, by the way. And so basically, it'll be my first time home wrestling a match nearly a year after I blew out my ACL last March. We will be at the Crawfordsville Athena Center over on West College Street. Door opens at 5:30. Bell time is 6:30. I will be facing none other than Mr. Dalton Davis. He's a very young kid in the wrestling business.
Dalton squared.
No, it's Justin versus Dalton.
I know.
Mark.
That's 3. You're getting hit with my finisher. So if you hear sounds after this is done. So that's going down for New Generation Wrestling in Crawfordsville. We have a good show coming up. Main event for that show will be a guy that most of you guys have seen at Emerge, Mr. Jeremy Hadley.
All right.
He will be defending his Indiana Hoosier State Championship against Gideon in a not a last man standing match, in an I Quit match. Being an I Quit match. So if you four don't have anything going on this Saturday, you guys are more than welcome to come down as my honored guest. Like I said, doors open at 5:30. Bell time is 6:30. Special start time. Crawfordsville, Indiana, this Saturday. Crawfordsville Athena Center. So I hope to see a bunch of people there.
Where's that?
Where's Crawfordsville? It's like an hour west of Indy.
You said Crawfordsville
Like
20
eight,
times. So
That's how
I
you
was-
plug.
That's fine.
So
That's how you plug.
yeah, that's how you plug this business. That's how you plug your shows. You have to say the same shit over and over again. It's advertising. How do you forget? You
Indianapolis.
don't forget. You say the same
Indianapolis.
thing over and over and over again.
WWE's promo Indianapolis.
Exactly.
Indianapolis on.
Exactly. But you didn't forget. So yeah, that's what's going on.
Well, looks like that's going to end it for this week's Four Corners podcast. Follow us on all our social media. Check out the stuff that we're going to put for Dalton, a.k.a. Justin Myers. And, from everyone here at the Four Corners podcast and Dalton,
Hello.
we bid you farewell.